Merry meet everyone. I just wanted to do a video quick kind of showing some activities that I'm doing for tonight's harvest moon, blood moon, lunar eclipse, all that jazz. This is, as always, Anastasia Autumnfire, and tonight I'm making, I'm about 95% there, a blood moon oil. It should probably be more specific for the harvest blood moon oil, because this oil is all about new beginnings, embracing the gifts that I have, and letting those things that have been harvested or that are continuing to be harvested kind of guide me, and opening up to the energies that the moon is going to be providing us, and also a lot of protection, because if you've read anything like I have about this blood moon, it is going to be a lot of energy, and it can have some adverse effects on other people. So it also is very much about grounding, protection, not taking others' energy as my own. So if someone else has a lot of negativity going on, not bringing that into my own self and own being. And when I did this, when I began thinking of this idea, I had notes upon notes upon notes of all these different herbs that I should use, and the correspondences and this and that. A lot of them are herbs that I work with regularly, so I kind of had an idea already. But oh my gosh, I forgot the cinnamon. I'm so sorry. So all of them were kind of herbs that I already had worked with and understood a bit, but sorry, I'm trying to open cinnamon while doing this now. But I still wanted to kind of double check and triple check, and then at the last minute, Murphy's Law, I cannot find that notebook to save my soul. So it became very much led by spirit, and a lot of thing was memory. I knew lavender was in it, I knew angelica root, I knew vervain, I knew cinnamon, but then all of a sudden I kind of looked, I'm like, I want to put some nettle in there, I want to put some passion flower in there. And then it hit me, I have solar oil that I made back for midsummer. I should probably put that in, because the sun definitely has an effect on creating this blood moon. And then I needed to make sure that I added an element for moon as well. So it kind of took off from there and became this really kind of earthy but still very woodsy scent. I really am into this. I don't think I'm going to use it all. I think I'm going to keep some of it and use it as an offering for the moon as well, but I need to add some cinnamon, and I'm just going to shake that on there. That feels about right. Kind of add that in there, because I do want, cinnamon is such a great herb. It's one of my favorites. It's got great protection. It helps raise psychic vibrations. It also is about love, and also a little bit about lust, which is always fun. But it energizes everything. So I definitely love having that added into things. So yeah, so this is my herb mix, all set and ready to go. And what I've done is, in the jar I'm going to put it in, I'm trying to spread it out a little bit here, give you a good idea. So I added an anise star for the good folk. I added an acorn for the Lord, and a birch twig for the lady. I also added a fluorite stone for clarity and focus. I'm sorry, I can't get my carnelian. Oh my goodness gracious, sorry about that. I've got a carnelian here for that warrior energy, which this moon is definitely all about, and kind of that fiery. And then, where is that hematite? Or hematite? I swear. Oh, there you are. I'm sorry, you guys. And then, of course, the hematite for grounding. And then I also have trying to find it. There it is. I also am putting a lodestone in there. And it's just a little one. I put its food on it, it's shavings. Because I do want this to also kind of work as a spell. I want to be open to these energies. I don't want to say be afraid, because that seems a bit much, but that lack of a better phrase, that's what I'm going with. This moon is definitely going to bring about a lot of change. It's already bringing about a lot of change. There's so much shifting going on right now. It is crazy. And change can be very scary for me. So I definitely want this to work within me. I also added some of my ancestral salt because I do want my past to guide me, as always. So I added that in there. So now I'm going to add a few pinches of the herbs. So Maiden, Mother, and Crone. So now we've got the herbs in there. And then I have some walnut oil. And I love walnut oil. It's great for this time of year. It's great for the season. Very protective. And that is that. So I'm just going to find the top because I put it somewhere and shake it up a bit, and then I'm going to charge that under the moon tonight when I go out to kind of give offering and thanks to it. So that is one thing. And the second craft I've worked on tonight is this bad boy. I cannot tell you how excited I am about this silly looking starfish. It was definitely inspired by Self-Love September and the Four Queens. She actually did a video about kind of, she was out in the woods and she was talking about just kind of musing about how Self-Love September really beckons to things that she loves working with already, like a lot of shadow work, a lot of looking within, and how we need to see our potential and really acknowledge it and tap into it. And she talked about a parable about the starfish. A young child's walking along the beach after a storm, and there's all these starfish washed up on the shore, and the child starts throwing them back into the sea as quick as possible. And an adult comes upon the child and says, "Hey, what are you doing? You know, you can't possibly save all of them. What good is this going to do?" And the child looks at the adult and says, "You know, I imagine it's going to do a lot of good for the few that I can save." And I'm saying it really basically and simply, and I'm not doing the story justice, because that story always has given me goosebumps because I absolutely adore it. And it's something that speaks very strongly to me about what we have the ability to do. A lot of times I know myself, I can only speak for myself. I myself get very bogged down with, you know, if I do this, if I do that, it's really not going to matter. It's not going to make a difference. You know, so what's the point of doing this? And that's not the point. The point is you can make a difference. You can do something. And this, if you've watched any of my videos, you know this is something that kind of keeps repeating in my head lately. It's very much about doing what you can do. Acknowledging you can't do everything, but doing something. And acknowledging your personal power and tapping into it and doing something with it. Being part of the change. And originally I was going to do this with the new moon, and then when I read up on the blood moon and saw what kind of powers that was going to have, I just instantly pushed it to tonight. And I cannot tell you the significance that this craft has. Let me kind of walk you through. So, as you see it, it kind of looks like a wonky candle holder. I have a top part here representing spirit. I use the color purple for the wax because I do correlate that very much with connecting to the spirit realm. I've got a clear quartz in here, although it looks very purple because of the wax, to kind of activate that. And then I also use some angelica root. Angelica root and vervain are the two herbs that, and I would go as far as to say even lavender can be, but vervain and angelica root at my core, although they are associated with other elements, they speak very highly to spirit. And I've had some amazing work with angelic energy lately, so I wanted to incorporate that into this project. So that is my angelica root to help activate and protect. And then over here we have air, and we've got lavender and a citrine to activate that, and the color is yellow. Here we have fire, so we've got the red, and I've used cinnamon, my favorite, and I have a carnelian. Over here we have earth, so I've got the green. I have oak moss as the correlating herb with peridot. And then over here we have water, and I used a rose for the herb or flower, and I used an amethyst for the crystal activation. Now in the center I have an onyx for the goddess. That is very personal. Onyx is a stone that I correlate very highly with my matron goddess Hel. This is a rose quartz, which I correlate very highly with the good folk, and I did want to incorporate them into this project as well. And then I've got a tiger's eye, which is a sacred stone for Cernunnos, who is my patron god. And then here I have a turquoise, and that is a stone for the birth month of December, which represents me. So now here is a white spell candle, and what I've done, you might not be able to see it too well in this camera, but I did inscribe on it a spell. Basically, this is a spell dedicating myself to my craft, to my path, to my title of witch. I'm very slow to say I am a dedicant of so-and-so, or I dedicate myself to this or to that, but it feels right. And I've said for the longest time, this is my path, this is my calling, this is where I belong, but I've never empowered myself to do it. I've never taken that responsibility fully with a dedication of some sort. And as a solitary witch, it's not like I have a coven that I can really work with or go to dedicate myself. I am still very much in the study aspect of my craft, as far as certain elements. So this candle has on there that I dedicate myself to my path, I dedicate myself to my craft, and I dedicate myself to my study and my passion. I dedicate myself and ask the blessings of the Lord, the Lady, the spirits and elements, and good folk alike. I also claim the title of witch, and I ended it with "so mote it and blessed be." And those aren't the exact words. I want to keep the exact phrasing personal, because it is a personal thing. So this is going to be my dedication ritual. Basically, it is lighting that candle when I'm out under the moon and kind of letting it burn down. And yeah, so that is what I have, and I think I'm good there. I hope you enjoyed these sharings. Again, nothing too terribly thrilling, but I really felt so excited and so amped about these crafts that I wanted to share it. And again, even if no one looks at the video or cares, it's great for a virtual book of shadows in a way. And these are two very big spells for me, or rituals, or what have you. So I thank you. I hope everyone gets charged up on this energy that is out there tonight. Remember to protect yourselves, because we don't know about any fallout that this shift can bring. But really, just rejoice, get excited about all the energy that the goddess is giving us, and that the earth is providing for us, and that the moon is bestowing upon us. And I realize I just said basically the same thing 3 different ways, but I really am hopeful and positive about the changes that I think this moon and this event will kind of bring about. So I thank you as always for watching. If you liked the video, please like, please subscribe, please comment. Also remember my October dedication, 30 days of Samhain crafting. I think I'm going to come up with a better name for that. But still, that is coming up October 1st, so if you have any requests, get those into me. Otherwise, just have a blessed night, guys, and I hope your week goes well as well. Yeah, that's going to work. Anyway, have a great night. Blessed be as always.